Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative. Now, I got a couple of things I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. I know I said that in the last episode, but today I actually do have a couple of things that I want to talk about. And the first thing that I want to talk about is just what in the hell is happening in our skies with our airplanes this week, folks. I mean, we have had a major air disaster and 2 near misses in as many days this week, folks. It started on Tuesday with Southwest Flight 1380. An engine on that plane exploded, ripped a hole in the side of the plane, and injured a couple of people, killed one woman, and terrorized 144 passengers and 5 crew members on that flight. Now, luckily, the pilot, very, very talented woman, was able to land that plane without further incident, even though there was a giant hole ripped in the side and one of the engines was missing. I mean, that speaks to a very, very high level of skill there, folks. So this could have been a lot worse. It was a tragedy that it happened in the first place, but thank God more people weren't killed. And then hours later, we had another Southwest flight that was leaving Nashville and was forced to turn around and make an emergency landing after it hit a bird. That doesn't sound like much, but if you've never seen the damage that a bird can do to a plane, I invite you to Google image search it once, when you've got some time. It's some scary stuff. Now, again, thankfully nobody was hurt in this incident. It could have been a lot worse. There could have been a lot more damage done to this plane if the bird had hit anywhere else other than where it actually did. And then Wednesday, the next day, we had a Delta flight that was departing Atlanta. That flight was forced to turn around and make an emergency landing after one of its engines caught fire and started smoking. Again, nobody was injured in that incident, but just like with the flight that hit a bird, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And the question that's on my mind, and I know that this is on your mind as well, is why on earth is Donald Trump trying to crash all of our planes? Now, I know there's a lot more rational explanations out there, folks, anything from mechanical issues to sheer coincidence and bad luck, the curse of an angry voodoo priestess. All of that is much more logical than blaming Donald Trump for these incidents. But to the left, Donald Trump is literally Hitler. He is the focus of everything bad. All of the negative energy just swirls around Donald Trump's hairpiece like an angry orange vortex pouring forth from a forgotten Dragon Ball Z villain who never made it past episode 3 of the first series. So we're just gonna roll with this, folks. We'll see where it leads. So if we accept that Donald Trump is causing all of these catastrophes or near catastrophes, we have to ask ourselves why. What is the reason? Did Trump manage to piss away much needed funds that were earmarked for aircraft maintenance, on anti-bird initiatives, on gilded swimming pools for all of the agents that were going to be manning his ridiculous wall? Is that an explanation? Has Trump opened a cyber backdoor for nefarious Russian hackers and agents that allowed them to worm their way into our aircraft systems like a parasite infecting an unprotected swimmer in the Amazon River? Is this Russia's fault? Is this related to Stormy Daniels in any way, shape, or form? Are these incidents the result of the Secret Service launching covert false flag operations on orders from on high from Q and 4chan in an effort to distract the public from Comey's book, Stormy Daniels' covertly recorded sex tape, and the sense of dread and madness that will only continue to grow as Nibiru inches ever closer to the apocalypse? I don't know. It could be this is all just a coincidence, but one thing is absolutely certain, folks. All of these incidents and more are all reasons why we have to impeach President Trump. Now, second thing I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, is the developments that have happened in the North Korea saga. So if you haven't heard about this, and I can't see how you haven't, I guarantee everybody out there has heard about this, but North Korea and South Korea have recently announced that they are in talks to possibly end their decades-long war. Now, North Korea and South Korea, of course, they have been at war ever since the Korean War started in 1950. That war kind of ended with a ceasefire in 1953, but there has not been any sort of formal peace treaty. Technically, the two countries have been at war for almost the last 70 years. Now, all of this talk about peace and over in North Korea, this all comes after Donald Trump's Twitter tirades against Kim Jong-un, after all of his threats, after all of his tough talk, and after his sanctions. You know, Donald Trump, almost from the moment he went into office, he immediately began putting the screws on North Korea. You know, and he did something that past presidents have not done. He got China and Russia involved as well. He put harsh sanctions on North Korea that hurt their economy even more, and he got Russia and China to, at least on paper, go along with those sanctions and ratchet up their pressure on North Korea as well. And this whole thing is unprecedented, folks, because this moment right in time right now marks the closest that the two countries have ever been to peace. You know, the last three presidents have tried for peace on the Korean Peninsula. Bill Clinton couldn't do it. George W. Bush couldn't do it, and Barack Obama couldn't do it. All three of them kicked the can down the road or made bad deals that resulted in North Korea gaining nuclear weapons. Bill Clinton. Sorry, got a little frog in my throat there. Now, the left is absolutely apoplectic over this, folks. They are beside themselves with rage and anger and a little bit of grief, because you just know that there are some leftists out there that really and truly wanted North Korea to nuke California or Hawaii or Alaska to make Trump look bad. You know, what's the drumbeat that we've been hearing from the left for the last year and a half? Trump's going to lead us into nuclear war with North Korea. And the media has been, and the left have been fawning over Kim Jong-un ever since he insulted Donald Trump and called him a dotard, which I guarantee you 90% of the left did not know what that word was until they heard Kim Jong-un say it, and until they actually looked it up in a dictionary. And this is just, it's an absolutely delicious situation, folks, because just imagine what would happen if Trump manages to do what three U.S. presidents, two of which were Democrats and leftists, could not do. Just imagine if he manages to end the war on the Korean Peninsula. Hell, let's go a step further. Let's say talks go so well, his meeting with Kim Jong-un goes so well that they decide that the Korean Peninsula is going to be unified. What if the North and South actually begin talks on unification? Just imagine how many leftist heads would explode over something like that, folks. It's, oh my God, it would be a beautiful thing if that were to happen. The tears on CNN and MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all of those news networks and shows. Oh my God, there would be journalists contemplating suicide on air if something like this was to happen. I mean, it's just thinking about it gets me all excited. I mean, I really and truly hope that this peace effort bears fruit, and that we end up with, at the very least, an end to hostilities and maybe some normalization of relations between not just North and South Korea, but our country and North Korea as well, and North Korea and the world as well. Because that is something that is going to be what affects change in North Korea. You know, people seeing another side of things. People seeing that there's more out there than just the barbed fences of the little hermit kingdom that Kim Jong-un has helped build and ruthlessly maintained. You know, I think right now we are standing on a precipice right here, folks. There's two possibilities here. Either we're going to go to war with North Korea, or North Korea is going to shape up, behave, and we're going to end up with some sort of peace agreement. I think we're closer to peace than we have ever been, and we should be cheering Donald Trump on. And I think if his efforts are successful, he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, at least more than Obama deserved his Nobel Peace Prize. It's not going to happen, but it's definitely something that should, and I am excited to see what comes out of this North Korea-South Korea summit and what comes out of Donald Trump's talks with Kim Jong-un as well. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, if you liked what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Both of those things help me out quite a bit. Once again, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you all next time.